to what is round 7, I know the number this week, of Tier 2 of WLR. This week, the co-commentator has finally bothered to show up.
Hey, I was in France. It's not my fault.
It only
But
took 7 weeks.
3, actually. Thank you.
3?
I'd have been there last week, but we were off last week.
You've not done
But
this
I'm
league
returned
yet, have
now.
you?
I have. I've done it twice.
When?
I did it at the
Right,
start.
that's
and
not
did it-
important. Anyway, no, we'll talk about the racing, not your lack of punctuality. Anyway, coming into this round, absolute shocker, Mipio has extended his championship lead after winning for the 4th time. In other things down the grid, Mipio does still have 3 more points than any other constructor because of weird things of how reserving has worked. Mipio currently is on 110 and Williams is on 107 points. I'm not going to explain how that happened, but it did. He's not the only driver that has more than his own team. Ricky X also has 88 points. He races for Alpine, who have 71 points. It's very confusing. But this week we are here in China.
China.
Right. You
That was
don't
my
want to
Donald
do
Trump
the Trump.
impression.
Yeah. It's good. But anyway, we've finally, after all this time, got a full grid. It is absolutely lovely. Definitely wasn't stressful at all with people just getting added as reserves when
I
we
think
were
you
meant
can-
to be starting. But
I think you can hear the frustration in Owen's voice. It's
no, I'm not frustrated at all. Anyway, so we have some returning drivers from the 2 leagues which were a thing before they merged into this 1 league. Well, by some returning drivers, I mean Orabeng, who was absolutely dominating Tier 2 in the last league. Much like how Mipio is doing the same in this one at the moment, though we'll see what happens there. Anyway, first car that gets to the line will be SJ Williams. And yeah, Jack, any thoughts so far on this being your first race in absolutely ages?
It's going to be back. I mean, not on China. I absolutely despise China. Not the country, the map, the track. You know what I'm saying?
You're
I
telling me you
absolutely
like the country?
Well, you know, there's worse, but I don't like the track. And it's good to be back. Yeah, I quite enjoy the commentary. We'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting.
Yep, as we see, someone has already managed to bin it in Sector 3. It is the McLaren of I'm going to go with Sam. I'm going to go with Sam. We'll go with Sam. So, I mean, there's probably more than one Sam, actually. Who cares? We're going with Sam. What are you getting? Yeah, that's difficult to say, though, isn't it? So we're going with Sam.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's not his actual name, it's... I mean, he's a reserve. With all due respect, he probably won't be here next week. So anyway, yeah, we'll ride back on board with SJ Williams though, because he, unless he somehow bins it, will be the first car across the line. His teammate just ahead of him has managed to bin it on an outlap by the looks of it. Don't know what's happened there. And I think SJ Williams might have backed off there because he's going a bit slowly. So next car behind him is... Oh, who's on the straight? Is that an Alpine? That is the Alpine of Bert, as I am Alex has been disqualified somehow. He is the Haas that had spun. But we'll stay riding on Bert for the rest of this lap. Bert, who very nearly didn't attend because his game just kind of died and he had to... I can't remember what he said he had to do. Something about repairing files. Not ideal, but he goes quickest for now because it's the first lap. If he managed to not do that, that would be questionable. But he's immediately replaced by Days in the Red Bull with a 32.6. Next across the line is Bossan, and he's invalidated.
Days, who, if I am not correct, if I am correct, is third in the standings, I think.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Is he not?
No, not that I know of. It's F1 CCNT.
Yes, you are correct there, it might be fourth.
So, Hyper has now gone quickest, and he's instantly replaced by Ziocto Woof Woof. That is an interesting name right there.
Yeah.
But he's then replaced by Ricky X by a massive... That's a good lap. That's a very good lap.
I amend my statement.
Okay, well I'm concerned about my pace now, because that is very good, as I'm just going to go with, we'll say the king for the Aston Martin, goes into second, 4/10 off Ricky X, who had a pole margin of 4/10 last time out. No, was it 4/10? Yeah, pole margin of 4/10 in Qatar. I forgot to put the league in Discord, haven't I? Oh god. Right, okay, 1 second. I've done it again. Never mind, but no, that's not. Never mind. I have forgotten. 1 second, Jack, take over.
Let's ride on board. Who is starting a lap? Literally nobody is starting a lap. I think the next one to cross the lines will be SJ Williams. Or Mipio, maybe. That's an interesting one. We might. Yeah, we'll watch Mipio's lap. He's just about to start.
Right, that's sorted. So who is on a lap next? First line is a Mercedes. I didn't get there in time. It was wreckage. Gun 7. Oh, Mipio. Right, we'll ride on board with him. Where is he? There we go. Ziocto Woof Woof, who had some great pace, has just been disqualified for going the wrong way. So we've managed to have 2 DSQs in just over 6 minutes. Oh, that is a good sign. Well, anyway, we'll stay riding on board with Mipio for his first lap. He's got a massive gap in the championship. I'm sure he's not too worried at the moment. And we've now got a grid penalty for a collision with... Where are they? There. SJ Williams, and I don't know who it was with. I think the Aston Martin behind him, as he does a very petal overtake. Anyway, we'll ride back on board with Mipio for the rest of his lap. Difficult to say what he's done so far, because I wasn't paying attention to that, because someone got the
I've been watching.
Penalty.
He's just going towards final few corners here. This is probably one of the trickier corners, I'd say. That hairpin is nasty. And he's coming towards the start finish straight. And as he crosses the line, he goes second. Ricky X maintaining. Are we calling it provisional pole, or is it too early on for that?
No, it's provisional pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just provisional pole. It could be pole in the end for Ricky X with that lap, because it is quite competitive. Mipio very close behind.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
So, who is on a lap? The McLaren of, well, he's not going to improve. He's very far wide. But the Aston Martin of Orabeng, returning driver from an old league. So Ziocto got spun and got disqualified. That is unlucky for him.
And Orabeng's gone.
That's the pit lane, Jack.
I thought he'd gone off onto the
Jesus Christ.
I really don't know this track. This is one of the first times I've seen it.
Right. Well, wealth of experience in the commentary box right there. Oh my.
If you'd have put Austria on the calendar, I'd know it like the back of my hand.
Because it's the shortest track and easiest to remember. Mipio's going very slowly there.
Yeah, it's also my favourite for very obvious reasons. I'm quite sad that they've not got the little T-posing engineers anymore.
Yeah, I do miss that actually. It's probably my favourite glitch from last game. Well, not a glitch, it was a feature. Is anybody on a lap at the moment? Mipio is going to come to the pits. Is that Alpine? That's, I think, Ricky X. No, it's not. It's the other one.
Are you fucking blind? Is starting a lap in his Williams.
I think we'll ride on board with Hyper. He's just ahead of him. And
okay.
Up there at the moment. So we'll stay on board with him for this whole lap. There's an Aston Martin just ahead of him that could very much get in the way here, but gets out of the way nicely. We want to turn the standing things off in case someone jumps up to the front. But Hyper is up by a whopping 3 milliseconds. That could be game breaking right there. That is phenomenal pace. So maybe he's made a mistake somewhere else in the lap where he can gain a lot of time. Looks very tidy so far. Bit of game thinking he locked up there. Of course, that's a sound glitch. Game hasn't ended. At least we can properly hear engine noise in this game though. It's always nice that I say that. It sounds a bit weird now. Anyway, he's gone purple in the second sector, potentially running a higher downforce setup compared to other drivers, but Hyper looks very quick here at the moment. Maybe get a bit of a cheeky slipstream on the main straight here. Well, no, back straight, sorry. But he does not, despite it being his teammate, no favours at Red Bull at the moment, unlike in real life, where it's all favours for one driver. But looks like a very tidy lap for Hyper so far. What do you mean, Perez gets all favours? Coming up to the line here, and he's going to not go quickest, missing out by just under a tenth of a second.
We have got Mipio, by the way, just on the back straight here. He is coming towards the end of his lap.
Is this the second flyer? Yeah, he's a second down though, so I don't think we'll watch that one. So next car to cross the line will be the Mercedes of, where is he? Not the Mercedes of Wreckage, it's the other one. No, it's not, because he is on an outlap. So next car to cross the line is going to be the Haas of SJ Williams. He hasn't set a lap so far in this session. This will be his first, so we'll see what happens here. Coming to the last corner, quite tidy there, maybe a bit conservative from the exit, but coming up to the line, he goes 6th fastest, which is very competitive. So, next car across the line will be the Ferrari of, not that Ferrari, it is Gaffo. Gaffo is a great driver and has had some questionable results so far. Was that invalid? I think that was an outlap, wasn't it? Never mind.
It was.
Okay, who's next then? Oh, fastest team out there. Lucky Nutshot has started his first lap in this session. No, he's just improved, hasn't he? I think he improved to 8th, because I think... Is this an outlap? In-lap? Yeah, this is an in-lap, definitely. Who is next across the line? It is the McLaren of... No, they're on outlaps. I'm very good. They need a better way to tell this. Next across the line, though, is the Mercedes of Wreckage, another reserve from Tier 3, and he goes 7th fastest. Very competitive lap from the Tier 3 reserve there. So, next car across the line is going to be his teammate of ARL, I'm going to say Yetsu, I think it's Yetsu.
Yeah.
Not seen him in this tier before, not sure if he's raced in Tier 3 yet. But coming up to the line, he goes 14th with a 34.3. Not the best time out there, but not bad at all.
No, especially for a first go in this tier.
But next car across the line is the returning driver of Mr. Arbeng. It's his first race in this league, first race in this season. And coming up to the line, he goes... Oh no, he didn't improve, did he? He did improve by 0.2 of a second, but that does not gain him any positions. So, is Gaffo finally going to set a lap here? Coming up to the line, and he goes 11th. Stunning lap there from the league owner.
Speed from our Lord and Saviour, WLR Gaffo.
So, after him, it will be Bossan, who is next across the line in the McLaren. Not seen him in this tier before, not sure if he's raced in Tier 3 or Tier 1. I don't think Tier 1, because I might have seen it. I do tend to spend a lot of time at the back there. Anyway, coming up to the line for his first flyer of the session, and he's going to go, ZRS is off, which is a bit questionable. 17th with a 36.4. Not the best lap I've seen out there, I must be honest. But it is now not Mipio that's crossing the line. That's the other Williams of... Nope, he's pitting. No, he's not. That's an outlap. Oh, I'm getting so confused. Jack, have you spotted anything?
I think Oremeng is either on an outlap or he's actually on a lap.
Well, he's down by 4/10, so I'm guessing this is an in-lap. Next across the line is...
Apparently someone's had a crash. Oh, my brother's just noticed that on screen.
Nope, it's not. It's just someone slowing on the straight, probably out of fuel. It is the Alfa Romeo of Le Mans. He's just having a bit of a stroll. Yeah.
A stroll as in a small walk, or a stroll as in Strulovich?
I have a feeling he is burning fuel to get every extra tenth he needs. Now, whether that gets him above 18, we'll see, because currently he's sitting pretty on a 2-minute 13.487. Stunning lap time. I'm sure he can improve on that.
What do you expect from an Alfa Romeo, Owen?
Right, shut up. I'm not having it. You've just offended all 4 Alfa Romeo fans there, and I'm not having it.
I apologise.
What am I going to say to the other 3? At least you can say
you were there before Audi.
Yeah, that's exactly my plan.
Do you have a little group chat with all the other 3 Alfa Romeo fans?
No, I don't think there's more than... I mean, there's probably none in this country, I know, honestly. The other 3 is probably some 80-year-old Italian guy who still thinks they're quick from the 50s. Yeah. Of course they are still quick, because Bottas Championship 2024, but never mind. We'll ride on board with this Alfa Romeo of Le Mans at the moment, who's surely about to go onto provisional pole at the end of this lap. In the second sector, he has done when he gets there, he's up by 29.2 seconds. That is stunning pace there. I mean, where else would you see that? That is incredible. Only Alfa Romeo can pull out that kind of margin. So he just invalid. Oh, for God's sake.
Where else would you see that sort of figure?
And Le Mans will stay for now on his 2-minute 13.4. So, we'll look down to the rest of the grid. Next car to cross the line is going to be the Ferrari of Failing Squash. He debuted in the league last week at Qatar. That wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. But let's see if he can raise himself above 14th. He did score points on debut last time because only 9 people finished. Let's see if he can improve this time. At the moment, he does sit in 14th. Of course, we do have a mandatory of 5 DNFs per race in this league. It just happens. Course, yeah. But we'll see as he comes up the line, and he improves by about a second actually, but that doesn't gain him a single position. But quite a competitive lap there from the man who is a keyboard player, which is possibly the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I don't think he's a keyboard player judging by that wheel movement, but he was last week. Anyway. So
we have our current, championship leader just about to start a lap here.
Yeah. So we'll ride on board with Mipio because of the championship protagonists. He is going to be the first that crosses the line. So we'll stick with him for the rest of this lap. Ricky X just behind him. Of course, there is other drivers who could potentially go quickest here, but we'll stick with Mipio for now. Bit of a twitch there, and Le Mans has retired. He is going to stay in 18th on the 2-minute 13.
Ooh, blistering speed.
I mean, only an Alpha can be in a different minute. It's just a talent. It's why I support that team. Anyway, first car to cross the line will be the Ferrari of one of them, I think. It's not Failing Squash, he's on the in lap, so we'll stick with Mipio for now. For the rest of his lap, a massive snap there coming out of that one turn in the middle sector that I definitely know the name of. And now here we go through Anting Corner. I do know the name of that one. Well, I mean, it's not officially called that, but you can see the massive sign that says Anting, so it's Anting Corner. Anyway, down the main straight we go. And Mipio, so far, don't know if he's up because I forgot to look at the delta time, but we'll see soon as he goes through the penultimate corner. Very tight hairpin, just followed by an Alpine there. And now up to the final corner, a very high speed, He takes a good amount of speed into it, not quite on the curb. Will he improve coming up to the line? And he goes on to pole with a 31.1. Now we look to Ricky X in the Alpine, coming up to the line here. Can he beat him? He can, with a 31.0. So what about Hyper in the Red Bull? Can he beat it? He goes second, just a few milliseconds shy. What about the other Red Bull of Days? He can not improve, stays 13th. Next cross line is the Mercedes of ARL Yetsu, and he will stay 15th, but does improve. So next cross line is the other reserve of Wreckage in the Mercedes. He's backed off there at the end, he stays where he is. And final car across the line would be Gaffo, but he has chosen to pit, so stays 12th.
Well, we've got an interesting starting top 5 here. It's going to be quite interesting to see what Mr. Orabang does, because there was some stellar racing from him in CTRC last season, and Mipio was brilliant.
It's called, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No,
that league's dead now.
It's CTCR, that's the one I meant. But
close
I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah, the same right combination of letters, just in wrong order.
That was quite a fun qualifying session though.
Yeah.
So, Ricky X, once again, 2 weeks in a row now, maybe 3, but I'm not sure about the one before that because I wasn't there, is on pole. Just ahead of Hyper and Mipio. Of all the top 4 in the championship that are attending, they're in the top 3 because of course F1 CCNZ isn't here. The king of all has got a 5th place grid drop. I'm not quite sure what caused that. It might have been the contact with SJ Williams at the penultimate corner. We didn't see it, but that was where it happened. So Ricky X is on pole from Hyper, then Mipio, the championship leader, in 3rd, but very close. Then king of all, Mr. Arabeng, SJ Williams, Wreckage, Burt, Lucky Nutshot, Rouster, Are You Fucking Blind, Gaffo, Days, Failing Squash, ARL Yetsu, Sam Ascaria, Bossan, Lamone on the 2-minute 13. Zixo Woof Woof, who at one point was 3rd and was disqualified for getting spun round by another driver, and I Am Alex, who was disqualified for a reason that we do not know.
We have to say, Lamone is making Alfa Romeo proud today with that lap time. That is probably one of the fastest lap times in Alfa Romeo history.
You don't have to rub it in so much. He says the person who, what, you were 20 seconds off Hungary time trial, you can't talk. Yeah, that's the sigh there, yeah, you know what it is.
Let's not mention it.
20 seconds isn't an exaggeration, by the way, it's just what happened. Anyway, predictions for the race.
I'm not on trial here. I think it's going to be an interesting start. I think we're going to get an interesting first few corners. If Mipio gets a good start, or Hyper gets a good start, or even Orabeng gets a good start, or his Aston Martin teammate, the king of all, gets a good start.
He does have a grid drop.
Well, not if the king of all gets a good start. I mean, he might do, but I think it's going to be interesting seeing what goes on. So, yeah, I'll be...
there's no formation also. So, we have 5 lights, and it is...
Oh, we love the glitch.
Oh, here we go for the Italian Grand Prix, finally. They really need to fix that. Ricky X, though, with a very good start. Mipio's got ahead of Hyper into the first turn, and Orabeng stays 4th behind. But so far, they've kept it just about clean. Mipio and Hyper still side by side heading into turn 2. Mipio just getting ahead on the hard tyres as well. Behind, we have had an incident. I think one of the McLarens has spun. And who's gone off there? Was that Orabeng?
It was Hyper, and I believe Hyper...
Is he gone?
Hyper and...
Hyper and Burt have gone off. What's happened there?
I think it looked like Hyper turned into him to me. I'm not sure. That was... Wow.
Yep, so Ricky X does retain the lead. Mipio up to 2nd. SJ Williams has had a really good start and is up to 3rd. Orabeng now dropped to 5th. The king of all already making up for his grid drop is back up to 4th. That's a great start from him. But crucially, Hyper, one of the few who is somewhat close in the championship fight, is down in 18th.
Owen, I've just got to say, you at the start, you also said the Italian Grand Prix rather than the Chinese.
I said the Italian. Oh, Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Sorry, we'll ignore my incompetence for a second because the Mercedes of AR Alietsu has binned it. That is unfortunate for him and is what I believe is his first race in the league, which is, of course, the Italian Grand Prix. We all know that.
Of course. Yep.
So, if we look further down the grid, is anyone close together? We've got some side-by-side action there with Orbeng and Wreckage. I think the virtual safety car might be ending, judging by how quick people are going. It's very difficult to tell. But yeah, a somewhat clean start, apart from the one guy who's DNF'd the virtual safety car and the three guys at the back who were spun round. Hyper now coming into the pit lane. I'm guessing he's lost his front lane.
I saw the start of the front left of the wing, the front wing just went straight into the side of Bert's car.
I didn't quite catch that. I was looking at Ricky X and Mipio. So, virtual safety car, I'm guessing, is about to end. I Am Alex did also pit under that virtual safety car. I think he might have been involved in an incident as well. But did stay out. I'm not quite sure what happened with him. Did you see it, Jack?
It might have actually been...
we've got some drive-throughs. Sorry. Wreckage and Failing Squash. Failing Squash on for his best result so far has picked up a drive-through there. What he said, Jack, sorry. And he's been spun!
Oof.
I think he's just kept it out of the wall there.
I think it might well have been Hyper turning, or Hyper having some sort of incident and accidentally hitting Alex, because I think it was a white car he hit. It must have been the Haas. And then Bert must have gone into the back of them.
We've got some racing on the straight here. The two Aston Martins are inside of each other.
Oh. That's something I expect from Lance Stroll, but not from these two gentlemen.
Sorry, 1 second. Jack, just take over.
Yep. We've got some action between the Aston Martin of Orbeng and SJ Williams here, heading into the big round horrible corner that I despise, and he has taken that place off SJ Williams and he's on the hunt for Mipio. Will Mipio on those hard tyres be able to catch up to Ricky X? That's a different thing, but this is going to be some interesting racing because the king of all is also right behind the Haas of SJ Williams. If we look towards the back now, it's quite bunched up, and it's sort of getting further out. Days in the Red Bull is 9th, where his teammate Hyper has just taken a place back to go up to 17th after his disappointing incident. That must be really hitting Hyper hard there. Orbeng is he's doing really well. The King of All has just taken a place off SJ Williams, who's on the hard tyres. I mean, this is a sort of impromptu tyre time, but that's going to give him a bit of a disadvantage. We only have 2 drivers on the soft tyres. We have Days in the Red Bull and WLR Gaffo, to say, on the soft tyres. We do have quite a spattering of the medium and hards as well. SJ Williams trying to make a move on the Aston Martin of the King of All there. He does take a place off Mr. Orbeng. We will see if he manages to retain. And Orbeng's gone slightly wide there, heading onto the stop-start straight, should I say. Are You Fucking Blind has just taken a place off Days, who seems to be dropping back slightly, but he's managed to... It's quite contentious here. We've got some wheel-to-wheel action for the fight for 7th place, with Are You Fucking Blind still leading that. The King of All moved up into 3rd there. That's some great driving from him, and also SJ Williams. But Orbeng is coming alongside him there, and they touched and made contact there. It's really interesting to see what these two can do. But SJ Williams takes that place back. Orbeng is still close behind him, and as he takes... they are literally wheel to wheel going around these corners here as he takes the place off him there.
Really sorry about that. I am back now. I did get to see this though. It's been some brilliant racing with the 2 Aston Martins and SJ Williams there.
fantastic.
As we go through Anting Corner, you can see on the grandstand in behind. Definitely not naming it that because I used to scream Anting going through there. Still do actually. But anyway, it's settled out up front, hasn't it? Ricky X with a massive lead at the moment. Well, look though, as SJ Williams is going down the inside of Orbenk here again, into the final corner, penultimate corner, sorry. Bit of wheel banging there. SJ Williams just stays behind. Will he go for a bit of a lackluster send into the final corner? Doesn't go with it, and a massive snap of oversteer coming out there. But he does just keep it together as Wreckage has managed to get himself disqualified.
He ignored his drive-through. That was a bit silly.
Okay. Well, we've had quite a lot of incidents behind. Quite a few people dropping back quite far. Some due to I can't speak. Some due to drive-throughs, I believe. Still, have we got any racing going on? This fight between SJ Williams and Orbenk still isn't over.
SJ Williams is being very determined. Orben's defending well. I mean, SJ Williams was defending from Orbenk really well. It's going to be quite contentious here. I think Orbenk is, after a win, he will be trying to get towards the top spot. Whether he does that,
Orbenk's gone very wide there actually, in the middle sector. Potentially a warning already there. As we look further back, you can see at the moment Days is under a lot of pressure from cars behind him. Days choosing to start on the softer tyres, and at the moment he's got both AlphaTauris right behind him. Speaking of the AlphaTauris, Zioxo Woof Woof has had a brilliant 5 laps here, started I think 18th, and has now overtaken a Red Bull on soft tyres for 7th. He's done brilliantly here.
Well, he did say in the drivers' chat that him and his teammate are looking for a 1-2. So we'll see how that goes for him. But so far, it's been a brilliant drive, getting all the way.
Both AlphaTauris are moving forward massively. As I think Days has peeled into the pits. Yeah, he's going to get rid of those soft tyres. Probably going for the hards. So anything happened further down the grid? There is a yellow flag in. There was a yellow flag in sector 1 there for a second. Who was it? Did you see, Jack?
No, I did not. I apologise.
It was only momentary. I think someone just had a small wiggle. Anyway. So, SJ Williams is still right on the back. Have you seen something?
I was just about to say SJ Williams was on the gearbox of Mr. Orbenk there.
Yep, so we'll keep an eye on this battle, but things are just starting to settle down a little bit more. So it might, now I say that, Lamone is right on the back of Gaffo here, so we'll keep an eye on this one just for a second, as around the grid battles are very much still happening. But once it settles down a little bit more, you can have your first glimpse of tyre time, Jack.
I've already done a minor tyre time. I did tyre time impromptu, but I have to say Lamone's had a pretty good start from his 18th. He's done quite well there, getting to 11th.
Yeah, you bullied him over that 2-minute 13 lap time, but he was just sandbagging. He knows his true pace. He didn't need to qualify well.
It was meant to be encouragement.
Oh, sorry, Orbenk has got past SJ Williams into the penultimate corner. No, he's not. He was defending, was he?
Yeah.
I'm confused. Okay, yeah.
He was always fourth. Well, not always. SJ Williams has been mounting a really good attack against him, I have to say.
Onto the start-finish straight, though. SJ Williams is very close here. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1, potentially? He's sticking right on the back of Orbenk here, practically pushing him through turn 2 there. So it'll be interesting to see that. Can you just take over for another second?
I can indeed. The action is still very, very close between the two cars. The hat of SJ Williams and the Aston Martin of Mr. Orbenk. This fight has allowed the king of all, Mr. Orbenk's teammate, to just pull a second away from his teammate and try and climb up towards Mithio, but that's going to be a struggle. Mithio is still peeling away from him on those hard tyres in the Williams, but again the gap to Ricky X is also quite a big one. Action towards the back end of the grid we've got is Days is making a move on the Ferrari of WLR Gaffo as he takes it round the outside of this corner here, but doesn't manage to take the place. Moving towards the inside, but he's stuck on Gaffo's gearbox. He's doing some great defending from Gaffo there. I think he's moving towards the outside of this corner to take that place as we move into Ansing, and he's managed to get that place off Gaffo in the Ferrari.
Right, sorry about that. My nose keeps going really snotty, and I just don't want to have to blow my nose really loudly down the mic. So yeah, that's why that keeps happening. Oh, SJ Williams has got past Arbeng going into turn 1, still side by side there. SJ Williams sticking with it on the outside. Arbeng just sneaks ahead into turn 2 though.
Ooh, there was a bit of contact there between the front wing of SJ Williams.
Doesn't look like he's got damage though.
No.
These two have been giving us a great battle so far though, if only it was for the lead.
I agree.
Anyway, should we have a look at some tyre time, Jack? Just be prepared to stop in case we see any overtakes.
There has just been an overtake. The Alpine of Danbert has just taken over Gaffo there, but in terms of tyre time, we have quite a smattering of the mediums and the hards here, with the mediums being the most popular at the moment. There's a good amount on the hards, but Gaffo sticks with the softs, but they seem to be maybe degrading a bit too much here as he's dropping back behind the hard tyre drivers. Overall, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but we can expect that those on the hards will stick out for longer and maybe gain a few places in pit stops. Back to you.
Yep, Ziocto Wolf, the man who started in 18th, has just made a move for 6th place. He said he wanted a 1-2, and he is doing everything in his power to try and get that at the moment. I mean, he's really going for it here.
Oh, we've just had Hyper, it looks like...
Has Gaffo spun?
Gaffo may have spun.
Gaffo spun. I think that's not his first in this race. Going through Anting Corner. I'll explain why it's called Anting Corner properly later. But anyway.
Possibly because of the massive sign that says Anting?
So basically I was doing some 5-lappers with Kofi. And for some reason we just started screaming Anting going through there every time we saw the sign. That's the story. Yeah. Anyway, Ricky X is having a lovely race at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Gaffo is just going on into the pits there, I'm assuming, to get rid of those soft tyres. They've been a bit of a devil for him, but Ricky X has had a brilliant race and he's managed to take 5 seconds off Nipio, who is, of course, the leader in the championship at the moment, but Ricky X... Ooh, Nipio there also had a bit of a shaky entrance into Anting Corner. But back to you, Owen.
I've just noticed both Ricky X and Mipio are racing with the number 7. How that works, I don't quite know. I will be honest. We might have to have a look at that one actually, because that's not meant to happen.
No, not really.
Yeah, I will look at that for after the race. Anyway. So, looking down the field though, Ziocto Wolf still very much with RU. I'm gonna try not to swear, but it's pretty difficult with a name that RU fucking blind. It just makes you sound posh when you say it like that.
Yeah. Or like
well, at least I'm not technically swearing. So.
The king of Oz in the pits.
So, yeah, Gaffo has also come into the pits at this point now. I'm not surprised, he took those softs for a very long time. Have we got any fights that you've noticed down the field, Jack?
Not as of yet. SJ Williams is still right behind Mr. Orabang. I think Orabang's probably getting a bit sick of it at this point, but SJ Williams is sticking with it, and, you know, you've got to applaud it. He is on the hard tyres, so he's probably got a bit more longevity than Mr. Orabang, but we'll see how that turns out.
Yep, so that is actually interesting to know, because Mipio, even though that gap is 6 seconds at the moment, at this point we can probably expect those hard tyres to start to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Ricky X, I do think I do think has quite good pace as it is regardless.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we will definitely see that gap close up a little bit when Ricky X is on the hards and Mipio is on fresher mediums.
And I think Mipio will get the undercut on Ricky X if he peels off into the pits early. Mipio might be able to stick on those hards, try and pull out a gap, and maybe retain it if he gets in the pits. But I'm not sure that's quite possible at the moment.
Oh, look, you're not sure I was retired, and there's a safety car. My mouth completely died then. I don't have a cold, but that has fallen perfectly into Ricky X's hands. Optimal pit lap for him, probably lap 12. So that couldn't have really been a better time. Not really ideal for Mipio. It will be very difficult to get the mediums to go that long. He can't go onto hards, of course. Same for SJ Williams. It'll be difficult to get mediums to go that long into a race. I'm sure he'll try it because he's got no choice now. But that does put Ricky X in a great position. At the same time, though, all that 6 seconds that he built up is now gone. So.
And we've got a lot of drivers now peeling off into the pits with the Alfa Romeo of Limone, Bossan, and Hyper's gone into the pit. Dan Burt's gone into the pit. They're all getting on the fresh tyres, and I think we can expect Ricky X to do the same, if not even Mipio as well.
Yeah, I think there won't be a driver in this entire field who doesn't pit here. All the ones that pitted a lap before couldn't be much more unlucky, I'll be honest. But yeah, without a doubt, Ricky X is going to come into the pits there. Some drivers like that of Ziocto Woof Woof, who has announced his intentions to win this race, that has played perfectly into his hands as well. Did you spot something?
No, I thought that Bossan had passed the safety car.
Oh, Ricky X nearly hit the wall there. That would have been very Lewis Hamilton if the gravel trap was still there. But we now finally see the leaders coming into the pits, albeit under a safety car, so it wasn't particularly unexpected. Mipio does also come in, as do everyone else who is yet to pit. So it'll be a straight fight to the end.
I think this will probably hot up that fight between Ora Benning and SJ Williams again. If they're both on the fresh tyres, it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah.
So, one person this has really not played into the hands of here. Actually, I'm not sure. Most people have actually kept position. It's just because of how spread out the field was. It appeared a bit differently.
Yeah.
Mipio and SJ Williams and everyone else on softer tyres than the hards is definitely going to struggle to this race. I learnt my lesson yesterday in a league race at Silverstone actually. Tried taking a set of mediums from lap 2 to the end, and I got a puncture on lap 22. You can't really take mediums too long in this game. It does punish you a lot more than other games. China especially, where tyre wear is quite high.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. So, as it stands, Ricky X is well on his way for the Grand Slam here. I think he just needs... Do you need a fastest lap for that or not? I'm not sure.
I just have to say that WLR tradition is, it's living up. We've had 4 DNFs already.
Oh, 3 DNFs. That's not as many as usual.
Yeah, but we usually have a good amount, don't we?
Yeah, we of course already have achieved the compulsory DSQ. Wreckage has fulfilled that for us this week. We never have one without someone.
Oh, there's been contact.
What happened there?
Between that
Ricky X has... Well, Ricky X has lost the lead now.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that's so nasty. I don't know who it was. Was it... The hat
right.
of SJ Williams.
Was that SJ Williams or was that the back marker?
I think it may well have been.
It was the back marker has just taken them all out.
Oh my god.
Oh, he is getting banned. Oh my. So Ricky X, from what was an almost certain Grand Slam, is now in 8th with probably damage of some kind.
Oh, definitely.
Right, that is out of order. Yeah, he's gone. He is absolutely gone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's not lasting.
We send our condolences to Ricky X here. Oh, crikey, I mean, Mipio must be thrilled, and so must Orabeng, to be fair, but that was... Wow. Wow, I'm actually speechless. I'm not going to speak.
What just... I mean, okay, well, Mipio's in the lead now. Ricky X has got a recovery drive on here in second from...
Missed.
Oh, okay, I'm so confused.
Mr. Orabeng and the King of All are going to be absolutely thrilled.
Mipio too.
On Mipio. The King of All looks ready to pounce on his teammate there. But Mr. Orabeng may well be searching for his maiden win in this league in his maiden race. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have a fun incident report to do this week. That'll be lovely to write.
There's been an incident between Gaffo and Danbert. Gaffo has just been given a 5-second penalty, so I don't know what happened there.
Yep, none of them seems to have front wing damage, so that's questionable.
We still don't know when the safety car's going in.
I think it should be next lap, if not this lap. That is so stupid from the Haas.
Oh, I think he did it on purpose.
Oh, he did. Of course he did, yeah.
Oh, you're going to have so fun with this incident report.
Yeah, no, we can't restart the race for that.
No, and it's a shame, and I feel really bad for Ricky.
That's stupid. Anyway, this will be the last lap of the safety car at least. Ricky X has got a task now to try and recover this. That's so annoying. What an idiot.
What an idiot.
Yeah, so anyway, we can't really restart for that because...
No, I mean, not really.
It would be unfair because it's... As much as it's stupid that that's had to happen to Ricky, at the same time, it would also be unfair on anyone who gained.
Yeah.
Because it's an incident at the end of the day and we can't judge it on the fly. So
Ricky, if you're watching, we are really, really sorry on behalf of that fool that did that. Race control has just said that the safety car will be in this lap, and Orabeng looks like he's about to pounce on Mipio here. It's going to be a very, very interesting start.
Yeah, one to watch is the Octo, I think.
Oh yeah.
With the most questionable name I have ever seen in racing.
Except for perhaps Lucky Nutshot.
Yeah, that's true actually. Lucky Nutshot, who did unfortunately DNF from this race. Anyway. So, safety car is in this lap. Bert has got another penalty for collision. We'll just ignore that for now because that's at the back. And the race we care about is at the front as there's more penalties for collision. What is going on? Oh my god.
If I could bring you from, we used to have the radio. The radio is back, but it's the old driver's chat this time. I'm Alex, the fool who did the crashing, has said that he wished he DNF'd our former race leader, Ricky X.
What did he even do?
He just flew into the side of him.
No, I mean, what did Ricky do to deserve it? As Orbeng has got a great restart here. That's not Orbeng. That's Orbeng, and going into turn one alongside Mipio, and he's going to get the lead here already. Mipio's trying to stick with it on the outside. Will they keep it clean into turn two? Lot of contact there, actually. It's not quite clean. Mipio, though, does keep alongside. Orbeng just about gets ahead, though, there. But going into turn three, will we see them going at it again? Mipio sending one round the outside. More contact again there, and on the exit again. Mipio forced off the track there, and he's now under pressure and behind the other Aston Martin. It's an Aston Martin 1-2 at the moment. You didn't think that would happen. Yep.
Only if Osama bin Strulovic would leave.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that might be another investigation there, because that wasn't the cleanest racing there. Ricky has stayed in 8th. I'm sure he'll want to try and recover this win. SJ Williams also maintaining 4th. Ziocto Woodforth maintains position as well. I can't say that with a straight face. So anyway, onto this back straight here. Mipio is right on the back of the King of All, and they're actually really close to Orbeng as well. It's 3 wide into the penultimate corner here. Mipio is going to get both Aston Martins here, going into the hairpin, and he's going to retake the lead here, but they're still side by side. Going into the final corner, there's a bit more contact there. Seems to be the only thing these two like. Mipio is forced off the track, but gets ahead regardless. And a McLaren has spun. But now into turn one again, Mipio leads once again, second lap in a row. Orbeng on the inside. Oh no, that's the other Aston Martin, sorry. The King of All, who's now got ahead of his teammate.
There's contact there.
Yeah, there's been a lot in these last few laps. And Ricky X has dropped down to 9th now. Not that is so unlucky for him. Sorry.
Mipio is not Mipio. Mr. Orbeng is dropping behind the hat of SJ Williams. I don't know what's gone wrong for Orbeng here. I think
yes.
there may be a little damage.
His front wing, I can't tell. Let's have a cheeky look. It does look okay. But SJ Williams is on the mediums. Mipio just starting to break away a little bit from this battle here. The King of All just behind him. Yeah, Mipio is now out of a second. Whether he keeps that when DRS is activated remains to be seen. I didn't mean to turn the HUD off. So, onto this back straight though here. SJ Williams right on the back of the King of All. Could be on for his, I think, second podium of the season here. If he does keep that position, the King of All does send one down the inside there. SJ Williams, though, manages to get ahead into the penultimate corner. And now, maybe, he could chase down Mipio for his first win in the league. Noticed anything, Jack?
I've heard something on the radio here. I'm Alex is once again taunting poor Ricky X in the driver's chat. I once again send my condolences to Ricky X. That was so unlucky.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got a Haas on the podium, should I say?
Yeah, you wouldn't think you'd see that before.
No.
I think he has actually had a podium before. But we'll ignore that, because this has been a great race so far. Well, I mean, in a nice way to Ricky X, it's kind of great because we now get to see him try and fight his way through the field, which he's currently doing, side by side, with the man who stated his intentions to win this race, Ziocto Woodforth. It's a questionable name, it really is.
It is.
I want to know how he thought of that. As Ricky X definitely out of track limits there. But he's now got himself back up into 8th. Of course, that's not quite back up into 1st, back up into 7th now, as the other AlphaTauri going very wide there, and has now teleported back ahead of him. Okay, I'm going to ignore that because that's bad connection, but here we see Orbeng on the back of his teammate with DRS going into the corner. Okay, words have gone, but that position is also gone for the King of All, who loses a place to his teammate at the penultimate corner, though there is another DRS straight right after here on the start-finish straight, so he could easily get back ahead here. SJ Williams now very much keeping with Mipio here, broken away from the two Aston Martins. I would love to see SJ Williams win a race. He has been racing in this league for quite a while now. I was teammates with him at one point. He's not won a race before in this league. It would be a great thing to see.
There was some quite heavy contact around the first few turns by the two Aston Martins, which has let the King of All back into third as Mr. Orbeng tries to go for a move through the inside of this corner. Ooh! And back into third place for Mr. Orbeng, but I can't see that lasting long because his teammate is back alongside him, or trying to get back alongside him as they move through these next corners. They have pushed behind, or pulled back behind the House of S.J. Williams, and it's quite tight in these, top four positions.
Yep. So on that note, I have now noticed that we have a third driver racing with the number 7. The King of All is also racing with the number 7. Let's actually go through the field and count.
What is with the number 7?
I don't know. Oh, Days. Is this the default number? Is that what it is?
Might be.
It must just be the default number, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it must be. As we see, contact there.
Quite heavy
Days
contact.
has lost part of that. Sorry, Hyper. Sorry, has lost just part of his front wing with a massive send. Ricky X does get ahead of both of them there, and is now back up to 6th.
There was some
that was massive contact there.
Days, the King of All, and Mr. Orbeng as Dave.
No, sorry, it was Hyper, not Days, I think.
No, there was contact between Days and the Aston Martins.
Oh, I was watching something behind. Hyper lost his front wing into the same corner, I think.
It was quite heavy contact. Days tried to push through, going onto the back straight, and pushed Orbeng wide, and he hit the King of All. He pushed the King of All wide. And hit Mr. Orbeng, but Mr. Orbeng managed to push ahead of him back into third place. And I do feel quite bad for the King of All because he's doing really well. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's just determined driver from Days, I think, who is having a bit of a struggle now. I think his front wing may be damaged because he's got some dodgy steering.
He's now lost a position to Ricky X as well. His front wing does lock intact, potentially just lost a bit of composure there after that contact. So it was with Days, so both Red Bulls having contact in the same corner.
Yeah, it looks like that to me.
Right, so anyway, heading through, Ricky X has made his way back up to 5th now. He is quite a bit behind the two leaders, though they are on the mediums. Those tyres will definitely die off towards the end of this race, so he's not completely out of it yet, not in a great position. But there is still 8 laps left. You can't completely discount him just yet.
There was some quite heavy drifting from the Red Bull of Days there, moving around on the stop-start straight. It might have been intentional, but Ricky X is right on his gearbox, trying to get past him, and it's been an excellent recovery drive here from Ricky X.
The recovery that shouldn't have had to happen. After he got murdered by a backmarker who was happy that because, well, from what I understand, that backmarker was annoyed that he was so far behind, so murdered him. Yeah, anyway, Ricky X, the recovery is on here, I think. S.J. Williams is keeping quite well with Mipio here, not quite got the pace to just catch an overtake, but still on for very good points here for the Haas driver. Orbeng on the hards doesn't quite have the pace of the two up front, partially down to fighting other cars, but I think he might come into it a bit more towards the end. But one of the fastest of these top 5 here, honestly, looks like it's Ricky X at the moment. That's not too much of a surprise.
And he was almost alongside the Red Bull of Days there, but Mr. Orbeng has peeled away. Days hasn't managed to keep as close as he might have liked, and Mr. Orbeng again is quite far behind the Haas of S.J. Williams. Everything's quite spread out now, but we'll see how that goes when those medium tyres start to drop off a bit more. We've had S.J. Williams went a bit wide into that final corner there, going on to the start straight, and Ricky X does seem to be gaining on Days, so we'll see how that goes.
Yep, in the background here we can see Gaffo, who is under pressure from Are You Fucking Blind here. It feels weird saying it with an A, but yeah, anyway. very close on the back of him here. Oh, who's had a spin there? Is that Ricky X? It is Ricky X.
Oh, that's
What's
really
happened there between him and the King of All, potentially, or maybe him and Days, but he's dropped back once again. I'm not sure if it was
and
contact
he's just gone
or...
straight past the King of All there, back into 5th place. I think there may have been some contact. And Boss M500 has just got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think the contact may have been with Days. If there was contact, he may have just had a bit of a wobble on his own. I'm not completely sure. But that does make that recovery very difficult now, as he's now 13 seconds behind Mipio. I don't think it's possible anymore unless something happens to close them up once again. But
Yeah,
that
we could have a
is not
podium
good for him. He could very much get a podium, yeah. It completely depends on how those mediums drop off, I think.
Yes, I agree. We've still got 7 laps left of the race, so they have time to sort of get to the point where they are going to need changing, or it's just going to be detrimental for Mipio and SJ Williams. And it will give Mr. Orabeng a nice opportunity there if that does happen, because I think he is still looking for that win in his maiden race.
Yep, I mean, who wouldn't be? It'd be a lovely feeling for him. Well, at the moment, doesn't quite look like it's going to happen. He's continuing to just start to fall away from those medium runners. Not seeming to drop off really in tyre performance. I thought they might, but they're doing alright so far.
You have to give it to SJ Williams. He had a brilliant drive today. And Mipio, in fact. They both had some really good moments. Those fights between Orabeng and SJ Williams were brilliant.
Yeah. You do have to say, Mipio sort of, he's done brilliantly himself to keep out of incidents, but he hasn't really raced anyone. He's been on his own for a majority of the race, apart from lap 1, turn 1.
Yeah, sort of had the look of the draw there.
Yeah. SJ Williams, though, has done a great job carving his way through the field. He did drop back a bit at one point, I believe, starting in 6th, I think. But he's moved his way back up here quite nicely. As Gaffo has binned it.
Oh.
What has happened here? Which wall has he found?
And so has Limone. Limone in the Alfa Romeo
so Gaffo, has he retired on track? Right, well his card disappeared before I could see, but I'm fairly sure that's illegal.
And Limone saw a wall and took the opportunity just like Zhou Guan Yu.
Right, there's no need, but that has thrown the race on its head once again, as most of these top drivers pitting, except Orabeng. He has chosen to stay out on old hards. Orabeng has ruined it.
Sensible choice there from Orabeng, actually.
No, that he's done. That's him gone. Orabeng's race is over, Jack.
I think he might be able to pull out a nice gap. Well, actually,
what about everyone behind him is on fresh softs or mediums? No, his race is over.
Unless he pits for softs now in the next lap, I agree.
He's behind the safety car. It's Orabeng's just got to try and stick with it now. That is a poor strategy call there. You never don't pit if there's a late safety car.
Ooh, he's stuffed it a bit there for himself.
Yep. That is not
the
good
King
for
of All
Orabeng.
has just been given a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Ricky X. So I don't know what happened there.
This has brought Ricky X back into it again, though.
It has.
He does have a chance here. There won't be many laps of racing, though.
Days, the driver in front of him, is on the medium tyre, so he will have the advantage of the soft tyre. I'm not sure quite what the delta is between those, but he might have a bit of an advantage over the driver ahead. But then it's going to be a struggle getting past SJ Williams and Mipio, because they've both had some pretty good racing.
I think Days has used all of his soft tyres already. He's been on them quite a few times. That may be why. He's already run 2 sets of softs in this race. I think that's why he's chosen the mediums. Anyway, Orabeng with... he does win the award of Ferrari strategy of the race. Of course, none of the Ferraris can win that because they both found a wall.
I mean, they're just following Charles Leclerc's footsteps, let's be quite honest.
Yeah, so, I mean, he may as well call it Aston Martin's strategy choice of the race after Monaco, but, you know.
I mean, I'm just going to remind you that you're an Alfa Romeo supporter.
And I'm just going to remind you that you could have won at Monaco, but no, because Chris Cronin's shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue.
I think he's called Chris Cronin, isn't he? Something like that.
I'm not sure. I just find it funny that the team principal's called Mike Crack.
Yeah, I do feel the need to point out that currently the car behind Orbeng is not Mipio, it's another back marker.
It's a McLaren. Oh god, we might have. I'm getting flashbacks here.
Hopefully Sam Ascaria is. Well, you see, I don't think you are able to. I don't know if they've added it or not, but I'm 90% sure you can't unlap yourself. Which is what I am, Alex. Supposedly got annoyed about that he had been slow enough to get lapped.
Well, so, it's not really Ricky X's fault that he was that slow.
Yeah. Hopefully this McLaren stops trying to push Orbeng like a wheelbarrow. And just accepts that he is a lap down and should probably get out of the way.
If I was Orbeng, or if I was Mipio, I'd be fuming here because that McLaren will get in his way of a start. That's going to be a disadvantage if he's trying to get ahead.
Oh, right, well the McLaren's just hit Orbeng there.
I think we need to tell this person back down. If McLaren person, if you are watching, please leave.
I swear to God, that back marker is meant to be ghosted. And I don't understand why it's not. Because we have that setting on. I think we do.
I'm having flashbacks here.
I'm like 90% sure we have ghosting on, so I don't completely understand why the McLaren isn't ghosted. Because that does happen to back markers on the game, I think. I'm not sure about under a safety car. But anyway, safety car won't be in this lap. It will stay out for at least... Oh, late call actually. Safety car is in this lap. As if the game's just saying it to spite me. Anyway, hopefully this McLaren gets out of the way pretty quick here. Though I'm sure he wouldn't mind unlapping himself, but that would be quite annoying. Of course, Orbeng is on the hards, so the McLaren shouldn't have a hard time to do it.
This is going to be... Mipio will be screaming at his screen at the moment for this McLaren to please get out of the way.
I think Orbeng has gone. Yep, he has. And is the McLaren getting out of the way? Yeah, he's been ghosted. Yeah. Okay, that's alright then. But Mipio looks like he's under pressure from SJ Williams here. Into turn 1. I mean, it's difficult to tell with the ghosted McLaren in the way. Mipio looks like he's actually side by side with Days there, racing Orbeng ahead. Orbeng, who is, as expected, quite slow on those really old hard tyres. He's going to be massively under pressure here. Going into turn 3, the marker McLaren with a massive slide going out of turn 2. But Mipio right on the back and down the inside into turn 4. I think I've got the numbers wrong there, but Mipio is side by side. I think he's ahead here. Is he going to take the lead into 5, going round the outside of Orbeng on those soft tyres? Is he ahead? Yep, Mipio back into the lead now.
SJ Williams.
Yep, SJ Williams going round the outside of Orbeng. Lots of contact there, putting him under pressure from Days now. SJ Williams, Days and Orbeng have all gone off there. And through goes Ricky X. Potentially, it's 3 wide into... Oh my, right, that's mad. Ricky X, though, up to 3rd now. Days on the medium tyres has managed to get into 2nd. SJ Williams now has been put back down to 5th. And Orbeng down to 7th.
Orbeng will be kicking himself after that very, very poor strategy.
Mipio, though, pulled out quite a good gap so far. Days on the medium tyres, and there goes the king of all down the inside of Ricky X into the penultimate corner. A great send from him there, doesn't quite get the move though. Ricky X staying ahead in 3rd place, he has recovered to his podium so far. We'll see what else he can do as Mipio sets the fastest lap. He really set off on that lap. As now we see Ricky X under pressure from the king of all into turn 1, and there's contact!
Oh, and he spun!
Oh, it couldn't get much worse for Ricky X in this race, could it?
And
Orbeng has already also had a spin.
Both Aston Martins have spun along with the Alpine of Ricky X. This race could not get more unlucky for Ricky X. But Days will now be on the hunt. Oh, and he's just had contact, I believe, possibly with SJ Williams. Or
No,
maybe he just had a bit of a tipple.
So Ricky X, who was at one point leading this race, and both Aston Martins, who are at 1.12 in this race, are now right down the order. And of course, with it being WLR, we have now reached our race goal of 8 DNFs. So we should have no more for the remainder of this race, though there is a yellow flag from one of the McLarens at the moment. Mipio, though, now Ricky X has been spun, I think he should be quite comfortable out front with Days on the mediums and SJ Williams stuck a bit further behind. For the rest of this race, Mipio should be in a good spot. But what about how are we saying it? Ziocto Woof Woof?
Yeah.
We'll see what he gets up to here. He declared his intention to 1-2 this race. That's not happening with his teammate being in a wall somewhere. But I'm sure he would still like to win it on his own as Mipio sets another fastest lap.
SJ Williams is gaining on Days here. He's pulled between the last couple of corners from about a 1.59 to a 1.38.
Yeah, so interestingly here, I mean, not much to our surprise. Mipio, with Ricky X, I mean at one point Ricky X was looking to close in on the championship. It was looking like a great weekend for him. And now it looks like Mipio is going to go into the next round with more than a race win's worth of a gap.
Ricky X has had an absolutely... It's horrible levels of luck here. It's just not gone his way this weekend.
Yeah, and of course, we haven't talked about the curse yet.
That's true.
So, of course, I've commentated 4 of the 6 races we've previously had. This would be the 5th. Every single race I've commentated so far, Mipio has won. At the moment, that curse looks to be very much staying, and he's going to win 5 of 5 races I've commentated to make it 5 of 6 that he competed in, and 5 of 7 the whole season.
I mean, I'm sure Mipio will call it a charm, but Ricky X is he's really calling that a curse.
Yep, as one of the McLarens, making 11th and 12th their own, has spun again. That's not too much of a surprise.
Just like the start of the season.
Yep, SJ Williams is in DRS of Days though. This fight isn't going to end just yet, as the only one we have on track there is between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Of course, the Octo Woof Woof, I don't think he's going to be able to win this race, but I'm sure he wouldn't complain about a podium here, as we're going on to the last lap now.
Especially in his inaugural race. So he's pulled slightly away there, as SJ Williams...
Is he going to send one down the inside here, maybe go around the outside, into turn 4, on Hyper, that's not Hyper, that's Days, contact there, forces him wide, and he's now under pressure from the Octo Woof Woof. I'm not going to say the full thing anymore because it's just a bit questionable. But, I mean, these two, I don't think they're going to stop going at it. Days does look to be a bit down on his ERS. Those mediums should be in a bit better shape at this point. The softs will almost certainly still be quicker. But we'll see what SJ Williams can do through Anting Corner. And onto the massive back straight here with DRS. Will SJ Williams get good drive coming out of the corner? He is quite far back here actually. Days does look in quite a poor position, but SJ Williams with that DRS should have quite a bit of overspeed. He is gaining on Days. Will he send one down the inside? He's pulled to the inside, not quite got the speed though to get alongside with Days, but potentially with a better exit here, as Days does go a bit deep into the final corner. Will SJ Williams go for it? Will the Octo Woof Woof somehow get a first podium in the league as SJ Williams goes very wide and up to the line, keeps third place, Zioxo Woof Woof just misses out on the podium in 4th. We completely forgot about him because of how far ahead he was, but once again Mipio wins. Sorry, we were watching the wrong battle there.
Mipio is for the 5th time this season a Grand Prix winner, back from his Alfa Romeo roots into a Williams now, and it's a brilliant drive for Mipio. Ricky X,
yeah, you've got to feel bad for him. He did nothing wrong himself, he just got murdered. That was a great race. Ziocto Woof Woof with the great P18 to P4. Hyper also recovered from the back to P5. He had damage at one point. Days as well. He started fairly far back outside the points. Mipio starting third. You've got a feel for Ricky X though. He really did get murdered there.
And now,
yeah.
and now among the most famous race winners radios, you know, C Ragazzi, whatever Bono says to Lewis. We have Get In There. We have Mipio's Thanks Mate.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I think that was one of the best races this season. Up there with Italy, I think.
And your driver of the day is our favourite, Ziocto Woof Woof.
Yeah, I think we're just going to call him Ziocto, honestly, from now, because I can't bear to say it for much longer. But anyway, Mipio, in the end, does win with the fastest lap as well. Days coming home in second from 13th, great drive from him. SJ Williams for, I think, his second podium of the season now, might be his first podium actually, with a great P3. Ziocto Woof Woof from P19 to P4, a great drive from him. Hyper started second, did get damage and sent to the back, but he recovers to fifth, good drive from him. Ricky X, he could have got a Grand Slam, but that was decided to not happen by an idiot backmarker. He does in the end finish 6th and unfortunately loses points to Mipio in the championship. Burt follows him in 7th, followed by the King of All and Orbeng in 8th and 9th, both Aston Martins that were at 1.12 finish at the bottom end of the points. Are you fucking blind? Finishes in 10th on his second race, potentially first race in this tier, followed by Bossan and Samaskar. The two McLarens that did just about finish. Then the non-finishers were Rouster, Gaffo, Lamone, the great 2-minute 13 lapper in quali. I am Alex, the absolute idiot that is never racing again. Lucky Nutshot, Failing Squash, Yetsu, and Wreckage. That was the not Italian Grand Prix. Jack, any thoughts on that
then? It was a great race, some horrid luck for Ricky X. The Aston Martins didn't get the outcome they wanted. Ziocto, it was an absolute stellar drive from him. Do not know how he got from all the way at the back to 4th place in his first race in Tier 2, but I expect we'll see him again at some point. The King of All, great race from him really until that upsetting end after the restart. But yeah, overall, great race.
Yep, so we will see you next week in our second street track of the season at Singapore, which goes, luckily, hand in hand with the real race. So, hopefully, we can finally have a bit more of a championship fight then. I mean, if not, we don't mind, because that race was great to watch either way, though I'm sure Ricky X won't be quite happy with that outcome.
No.
But nonetheless, we will see you next week.
Goodbye.